have yet to see us talk about this, but when are we going to start to discuss that the Black Greek life of today is totally not what it used to be? Okay, well, since y'all not gonna start the conversation, I guess I just gotta start it. So when it comes to the Black Greek community, there are people in these organizations now that really do not uphold the standards that the founders have built these organizations on. And I don't have to go into great detail about what they were built on because you all know, because you were online, you know. But anyway, let's talk about how the sister, like, I can only just speak from my experience because I was in a sorority. So sorry, fellas, I can't speak on you all's. But for the ladies, for the women, I could speak on what it was like being in these organizations and how much abuse there was. Like, seriously, there was a lot of psychological, mental, emotional abuse that happened with these groups of people. And I'm not talking about the hazing. I'm not talking about, initiation to get into these organizations. I'm talking about once you were in the organization, once you were on the yard, that's where a lot of this stuff happened. Now, what these people would do is the same way that family expects you to just put up with their type of abuse because y'all are family, is the same way that this whole thing worked out. It's like a sisterhood, and they expect you to put up with the type of abuse because, that's your line sisters, those are your ships, those are your this, whatever the case is. But if you all would have met each other any other type of way in any other circumstance, I guarantee you probably would not have even wanted to be friends with these people. What happens is it's a forced group of friends, and it's a forced group of people that are kind of forced to be together. And when people have their own personal issues within themselves and they begin to project onto other people, then this is why it creates a lot of discrepancy. This is why there's bullying. This is why there is abuse. This is why there's a lot of gaslighting. This is why there's a lot of organized mobbing, where people would have sister circles, but they would actually go and start targeting one person. This is why there was a lot of bullying that would be going on. And it's a lot of times people would target certain individuals. There was, it would be things where people would be spreading rumors about each other. People would talk about each other. And clearly you could see that these people did not genuinely care about each other, didn't genuinely like these people, but they just pretended to be so because they wore the same letters on their chest. But at the end of the day, it wasn't genuine. It was, I don't even know the word I'm looking for. But anyway, it was a big issue because you have these people joining these organizations wanting this sisterhood, but they got the exact opposite. And the trauma that people go through after being online with the stuff that they dealt with in the chapters on the yard creates a lot of issues that people have to heal from. Let me just vent about my experience. So when I joined my organization, from the jump, ever since we were online, it's like those group of little girls just had such attitudes. They had bad attitudes. They would gang up with each other and gang up on me multiple times. We had moments where they would call in sister circles, but all they would do is just start projecting, gaslighting, and just putting me down, belittling me, bullying me. All of this was abuse. Mind you, our pro fights were present in these meetings. And the thing is, the pro fights were just as worse because they didn't do much to actually fix the problem. They would just sit there and just sit back and just watch all of this happen. So it's like, how are you teaching sisterhood when you're basically allowing all of these groups of girls to go against one sister? And it just was so ridiculous. I just didn't understand this. Then we had moments where I had my own line sisters. I've blocked them so they can't see this. I've had my own line sisters spread rumors about me. I've had them gossip about me. I've had them try to turn other people against me. They basically turned blind sisters against me. They tried to turn pro fights against me. They just tried to turn so many people against me because they wanted me to just be isolated, alone, whatever the case was. And they would do all this abuse. And then they basically pushed me away and then wonder why I left. Narcissistic people. So when I basically started like withdrawing my energy, I stopped hanging around them, I stopped being, spending time with them, I stopped talking to them. All of a sudden they're like, well, how come she doesn't want to hang with us? How come she doesn't want to chill with us? It's like, baby, you never made me feel welcome anyway. I mean, these people would like make fun of me. They would just treat me so horrible. And there's a difference between laughing with somebody and laughing at somebody. When we were online, we went to our first conference, and these women, these little girls, the whole entire time bullied me the entire time. I was so outnumbered. It was 5 against 1. They basically had moments where they tried to like kick me off the line, like, no, you're not on our line anymore. We don't want you. We don't like you. Like, they just kept telling me this kind of stuff, right? I had moments where they would sit up there and like one girl really just was so evil. Really, she was wicked. That girl has Jezebel spirit. She's a sociopath. But anyway, beside the point, there was this one girl that really just started like going in this one time during homecoming, and the rest of my line sisters were there, and they didn't even do much. They didn't defend me. They didn't step up. They just kind of sat there and laughed and watched this happen. So she was being the bully. The rest of them were being bystanders. And the trauma that these girls done put me through, I'm still recovering from this day.